Game 7?
Yeah, I mean, you grow up as a kid playing on the street, Stanley Cup final, Game 7. Now it's reality, and I don't think our mindset changes. It can't, because we've done some good things, but we haven't done anything great yet, and that's what we're looking for.
Chris talked about the next 10 days. What have the last 10 days been like?
We're taking it day by day. They've obviously been exciting. Got ourselves back in a great position, and now we're down to 2. And these are the fun ones that you dream about, like I was saying.
You've experienced a lot of Game 7s. Just in your opinion, what sometimes is the difference between winning and losing a game like that?
Emotions. Just doing the little things, the bigger things happen. And I mean, you could say that, and all the cliches you want, but in those games, everything's magnified so much more than game 4, 5, 6, or whatever it is. And so it's like I said, it's the little things, and bigger things happen after that.
Corey, you guys have allowed 5 goals in the last 3 games. What have you liked about what you guys have done defensively over the last little bit here?
Well, I think you look at going back to that Dallas series, even in that end of the Vancouver series, we started playing defense first and working our way out from our goalie on out. And this team probably doesn't get enough credit for how well we do play defensively and take pride in that. And that's where it starts for us, and then the offense takes over from there.
How can you balance maybe the nerves of playing a Game 7 and the excitement of being at the highest stage possible?
You know what? Nerves are exciting. It's a good thing to have nerves, because you means you put yourself in that position. It's exciting. You don't take anything for granted in this game, and and like I've said before, this could be half these guys' last chance at a Stanley Cup. Could be the last time in the Stanley Cup final. I mean, it took me 12 years. It took Rico 12 years to get back. Those things don't come around each and every day, and we're having fun with it, and that's all we can do. Just enjoy it.
I think Connor's thinking that?
The greatest player in the game. This is my shot. I gotta do it here.
I mean, I'm not inside his head, but you kind of have to think that way. I mean, this could be your only chance. It's the closest thing to it right now, and it's exciting. And we've put ourselves in this position, and we got to take hold of it and run with it.
Just playing, and I think we've done a good job. Building that chemistry within the group and the depth, and I think there's a lot of combinations Knobber has been able to go to throughout the playoffs, and when needed, and guys moving from middle to wing, and wing to center, or up and down the lineup, or wherever it is, depending on the situation. So I think that speaks a lot to the group and the depth of the group.
You guys, as a line, you come together and almost immediately making big differences in games and such. How much pride is there, kind of as a trio, just the way you're able to affect things? Well,
I mean, that's what you want to do. I think we found some chemistry together. Brownie being pretty quiet, but coming together with Yanni and kind of understand they PK together a bit, and so I think there's that familiarity with each other, and I think my game kind of meshes well with those two. So. It's been great to be part of what's got us here. But we understand that we haven't done anything yet, and there's still one more game to go.
You have some experience with this in junior?
Yeah. Yeah. Before it's never fun being down, but the belief has been here. When you're down 3, I guess, and your back's against the wall, I think everybody kind of counts you out, and. But the belief within the group, it feels similar to what I've been through before, and we're unwavered in here. We just keep pushing, keep playing hockey, and I think most of all, everybody's just having a lot of fun.
What does Game 7 feel like, Adam? What is kind of fans are what does a Game 7 feel like?
It's just another hockey game. It's when I was out, I was a lot more nervous watching than playing. So I feel like that's probably where a lot of people are at. You don't really have that control when you're watching. So it's certainly a lot more fun and to be out on the ice and playing and just being able to kind of control those situations out there yourself.
Adam, you were a late addition to this group. You would have seen the tough start they had, the coaching change, everything. Like, what's allowed this group? What stood out to them about them to you, and now you're part of it?
Well,
about the pushback and
yeah, I think as a group as a whole, just sticking with it, just believing in each other, and as a player and seeing them go through the struggles. I've been there before, and it's never fun, but clearly the group in here believed in each other to push back. I mean, at the time, to get into the playoffs and then go from there and see what happens. So certainly backs were up against the wall early on in the season, but to see how the group kind of came together, I think it's certainly helping out now.
the last 10 days. I mean, 10 days ago, you guys were left for dead. What have the last 10 days been like?
I'm just. It's been pretty fun. We're just. Like Albert says, we're just enjoying. There's 10 days left in the season, and now there's 2, and tomorrow will be the last day. That's it. So we're just trying to take it all in, just enjoy it, just enjoy being around the guys, coming in the room, putting in the work. There's just that continued fun and belief in each other, and it has been a lot of fun coming to the rink every day.
Just another day where we were able to get on the ice and get our last practice in.
No one expected you guys to be here after falling down 3-0. Do you feel like you're still playing with house money, or how do you feel going into that game?
Yeah, to be honest, never felt like we were playing with house money, especially when you're down 3-0. But I think, we got the same attitude. We're just really enjoying ourselves here. It's a tied series now, but that doesn't really change much. Still got a hockey game to play.
You're a team that can do something that hasn't been done in 82 years. Is this career defining?
Career defining? Probably not.
Sure about that?
I think, it depends where you are in your career. But for me, I'm hoping to play a longer time here. So, I think it defines a lot of things about who you are and what you can go through, how you can persevere through things, and how you can battle back. But for a career-wise, depends who you are.
Stuart, so you look back a week and a half ago. How are you guys here compared to where you were? How did you guys get here?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Like how did you guys push back? What allowed you guys to get back to this point?
Yeah, I think honestly we've had a lot of practice, having to push back. I think it was very much earned. We had to do absolutely everything in our power to get to this point where we are, and I'm sure Florida would say the exact same thing. It takes every single guy. It's literally taken every guy in our room to get into a position like this, and it's very exciting and it's very enjoyable to be able to be here.
Stu, the way you guys played defensively the last 3 games, allowing 5 goals, that's obviously helped. Can you kind of just talk about what you guys have done well over these last 3 games?
Yeah, it's been massive. Obviously, especially against a team like Florida, they know how to put pucks in the net. They know how to obviously get on their forecheck. Very strong team. So, to be honest, the game plan, it's really hard to say. I think it just comes down to little details and doing the right things, especially at the right times. And I think we've had guys really step up at the big moments, whether that's a very minimal thing like getting a stick on a puck or, stick checking a guy or, whatever that may be. So I think it's just, honestly, just really small little details.
Stuart, you've got the best player in the world on your team in Game 7. How confident is that Connor might just do something?
I'm sure he would say the same thing. It's very obviously an amazing feeling to have a player like that. But I think that especially the way the game's being played right now, I don't think we're going to be looking for anything pretty. Especially, you've seen majority of the goals. They've been pretty dirty. There's been a couple pretty ones, but you don't come around those often. Connor, to answer that question, I would just say it's comforting to have him as a leader, as a captain. The way that he approaches things in the room before games, in between periods, I think that's where a lot of people are very impressed with him.
Look, if you look at Game 7s, they always say, like, where you throw out everything that's happened, right? It's one game. For your perspective, though, you guys have won 3 in a row to get here. Is it that case where you throw out everything that's happened, or is it different for you guys in particular?
I mean, in our situation, I mean, I would imagine every situation, every team's going to throw everything at you. We're doing that to Florida. Florida's been doing that to us. I mean, both teams have been absolutely grinding for 6 games. I think no matter what type of position you're in, especially when it comes to playoff games, you got to do everything in your power to be the absolute best that you can be. So we're really excited to bring that tomorrow night.
Have you ever felt that good in front of your net in the last 3 games?
It's a good question. I'm not really too worried if I've ever felt better or felt worse or anything like that. I'm definitely feeling good. I've felt good many times in the season. I've also felt terrible in lots of spots. I remember Fleury said this once. He said sometimes when he has the worst practices and the worst warm-ups, he ends up playing the best games. So at this point, it doesn't really matter. It's just about, coming in and being ready and preparing my absolute best that I can be for tomorrow.
Stu, a lot of players say they dream of scoring that Game 7 goal. What does a goalie dream about? Have you allowed yourself to kind of have that dream yet?
That's a great question. I'll probably be dreaming about it tonight. I'm obviously just preparing and showing up the exact same way that I have been. For a goalie, it's a lot of things are out of your control. I have no idea what Florida's going to bring tomorrow, what kind of plays they're going to make, and that's kind of what makes this all exciting and that much more fun. So for me, I'm just going to try to give my team the best chance to win.
Stuart, for you personally, from going from that loss in Carolina on November 22nd to Sunday night before the Game 7 Stanley Cup final, how do you describe that trip for you?
Yeah, it's been, I mean, to say the least, it's been definitely a journey. Lots of ups, lots of downs. But all those experiences that you're able to get, really just defines so much in yourself. So for me, as I'm sure everyone else would say the same answer, it's just been really fun. It's been really enjoyable. Being able to go on these long flights with each other. I mean, it's just, it's amazing. We get to, enjoy each other's company for a couple more days here. And it's going to be, something that we're really excited about.
How was Mario Kart on the plane?
It was great. Yeah, I was good. Yeah, I was pretty good. Me and Doc actually teamed up, and we were pretty unbeatable. I don't think we lost, actually.
Evan, how do you guys feel? Maybe if you guys, Connor, you can start, then Leon, you can answer it, and then we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, excited. Obviously, we've worked hard to put ourselves, in this position. It's a great opportunity for our group, and we're looking forward to it.
Left side, second row, Steven. Yeah, I'm not sure what to add to that. Obviously excited. Proud the way that we gave ourselves a chance, and it's just one game now. Left side, second row, Steven.
You guys have both played with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for a long time. He's been around this organization a long time. What has he meant to this group, to this organization? I'm curious, either kind of what your guys think about what he's meant to you or what he's meant to this organization over his time here.
Yeah, he's been an Oiler for a long time, and he's gone through some dark days, as an Oiler, and kind of come out the other side, and now he's a big reason why we have an opportunity to be in this position. So he means a lot to our group. It means a lot to the people, the city of Edmonton. Obviously took a massive kind of pay cut to stay there and be a part of the group, and he's a big part of it.
Right side center, Slav.
Connor, I'm just curious from you, how do you prepare for these games mentally? Do you spend time envisioning what the game's going to be like? Do you try not to think about it? How do you get ready mentally for these big games?
Well, you got to prepare just like you always do. Obviously it's not your ordinary game. Everybody understands that, but you got to make it as ordinary as possible in your head. I think part of that is just sticking to your routine. Our room has done a great job of, being at our best in these big moments, and I would expect no different tomorrow.
Left side, fourth row, Josh.
Connor, Chris talked about there being 10 days left in the season when you guys were down 0-3. Now there's 2 days left in the season. Can you just take us in the room? What has the last 8 days been like, and what's it been like? You talked about proving doubters wrong. What this last week been like for you guys?
Yeah, it's been fun. Been fun to be a part of. The group has played some of our best hockey over the course of the last 7-8 days. So we feel good about where things are at. But with that being said, it comes down to one game.
Left side, second row, Dan.
Leon, the big picture of all this is you guys have an opportunity to do something that hasn't been done since World War II. And I'm just, since 1942, you probably are in that one game mindset, but have you allowed yourself to think of the magnitude of the big picture of this and what is available now for you guys to accomplish?
I mean, I think we're all human and we're aware of the situation and what we've accomplished so far. But I think if you go past that, it just at the end of the day comes down to one game. We have to focus on winning one hockey game on the road and play our best. And everything else, all the stories, will take care of itself after.
We'll go second row, right side, Daniel.
I guess I'll address this to Connor. I just wonder if you could describe the journey to get to this point. And I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about, you get drafted first overall. Within 2 years, you guys are in the playoffs in the second round, deep in the second round. And it takes a while, right? What is that like to go through, a few years of getting to this point?
I could do a lot with that question. That's a pretty broad question. What's it like? It's been a long road to get to this point. It's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of lessons along the way, a lot of lessons. But it takes a lot, like you said. It really does.
Left side, fourth row, Bob.
Connor, how important is it, just over here, how important is it just to remain even keel? I mean, not sit there and ride the highs, ride the lows, but just sit there and is Chris maybe assisted in that process? Does that come from the players? Does that come from the coach?
You as you said, you have to stay even keel. You can't kind of ride the wave or the roller coaster. It's we really haven't done anything yet. We've won 3 big games to get ourselves back into the series, and it comes down to one game here, and we'll be ready, and we're looking forward to that. It's a great opportunity.
Left side, second row, Mark.
Yeah, Leon, you guys have really found your lines. The coach moved them around a bit. Now you got them. You got a really solid goaltender. Bob Stauffer's become the most handsome man in your traveling party.
Obviously.
You got a solid team going here. Everything seems to be going pretty well. But when the gates open for Game 7, you also got the best player in the world on your team. Everybody on the ice knows you got the best guy. What's that worth?
I mean, it's a lot. That's like going into every game. Every game we go into, we know we have the best player in the world on our side. But this league is really, really hard to just go through one player or 2 or 3 players. You need a whole team, and I think we've shown that over the last couple of years. We've taken big steps, but I think especially in this playoff run, you can see how big, for example, our penalty kill is. We've won so many games on this run strictly because of our penalty kill. It's not so much our power play or our offensive guys. It's our depth and our penalty kill that wins us hockey games. But certainly, it's a great feeling to have the best player in the world on your side.
We'll take 2 more in English, and then we'll take 1 in German for Leon. Left side, first row, Dave.
Hi, Connor. Matthew Tkachuk this morning said he thought this building would be the loudest he's ever heard in hockey tomorrow night. As a visiting player, what are your expectations of the atmosphere here?
It should be great. Should be great. It'd be fun to be a part of. We've played in some real loud buildings throughout this playoff run. Maybe none louder than our own building, obviously, but it's different when you're on the other side of it. So we're looking forward to it. Playing in loud buildings is nothing new to our group. You know, we won a big Game 7 in Vancouver, and that building was deafening. So I would expect the fans to be right into it, as they should be. It'll be exciting.
Last one in English, left side, fifth row, Elliot.
Guys, for both of you, when you were kids and you scored the winning goal in the Stanley Cup final, who were you?
Who was I?
Yes.
Leon in Germany, Cologne.
There must have been a player.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I was a player. I can't remember. I mean, Pavel Datsyuk was my favorite player growing up. But I think in those moments you're just yourself and you're just dreaming of being in those situations, and there's such a movie playing in your head, playing on the street or wherever you are, and you know, it's special to be in that situation right now and get a chance to be a part of that.
Connor, thank you for your time. You're welcome to step down if you'd like.
You want me to answer?
Yes, please.
You want me to answer? Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess, you know, Sid, you know, but as Leon said, you was always, you always dreamt of yourself playing in that game and scoring that big goal or whatever. So, you know, you're not sure you're ever going to get that opportunity, and you know, here we are with that opportunity. We're excited about it.
No, thanks, Connor. You can step down if you want. We're going to have to take one in German for Leon, right side, third row, Andrew.
Hallo Leon, eine Frage aus Deutschland. Was bedeutet Ihnen die Chance, den Stanley Cup zu gewinnen? Und haben Sie schon einmal darüber nachgedacht, ihn nach Köln zu bringen?
Ja, mit Sicherheit viele Tage verbracht, drüber nachzudenken. Es ist ein besonderer Moment, hier zu sitzen und unsere Saison kommt auf ein Spiel drauf an, und wir wissen alle, wie wichtig dieses eine Spiel ist, und ja, hoffen natürlich am Ende, dass das Glück ein bisschen auf unserer Seite ist.
The beginning of the season, you were coaching in the AHL, and you could have no inkling of that this would be happening.
None whatsoever.
I mean, well, so I mean, in your headspace right now, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking about the next game. I think after it's all said and done, then I'll look back and reflect on how the season went and how amazing everything was, and probably, you know, obviously enjoy it and think about all the positives. But right now, there hasn't been much time for that. It's just been, who's our next opponent? What are we doing next game? What's our next lineup? All that stuff.
Left side, third row, Derek.
Hey, Chris. You guys are on the cusp of doing something historic here, and then you guys have been, like, the season we've been around, it's been up and down all the way. If you don't close this out, does that put pressure on this team to close this thing out? Because if you don't, then none of the ride will matter.
I think we've been enjoying this ride, and I don't know. I think it's been a long year. I think players have had their backs up against the wall since November. It's a couple of playoff series and definitely the last 3 or 4 games here. But hey, our goal is here to win our last game of the season. I think there's 32 teams in the NHL that want the last game to be a victory. And you ask any team after it's done, they're disappointed when they don't win that last game. So we want to win the last game.
In that same row, Jim.
Chris, what's it like as a coach to go into a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup final knowing you've got the best player in the world on your team?
Yeah, it's definitely an added bonus, having the best player. Not only having the best player, but playing extremely well right now. You know, I think not only do you have the advantage with him on the ice, but I think it also just breeds confidence throughout the team. And I know the players are looking around the room and seeing who's ready to go and who's contributing, and they see their leader and the best, you know, their captain and the best player ready to go. I just give so much confidence to the rest of the guys to go out there and give it their best.
Right side in the middle, Slav.
Chris, you guys are 5-0 now in elimination games in these playoffs. Whatever the team's doing leading up to these games has obviously worked. Is there anything you can do before this game to ensure that you guys are kind of doing what you've been doing leading up to it in the previous games?
I think just staying with the course. We're not going to do anything differently. We've always had little adjustments for whoever we're playing, lineup tweaks, maybe a little emphasis on something with our system, but we haven't did anything very drastic. And, we're playing a very big game tomorrow night. It'll be very much the same as what we've done throughout the playoffs.
Left side, second row, Steven.
Chris, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins obviously is new to you, but he's been around this organization for a long time. I'm wondering what you've learned about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, about as kind of someone who's been through a lot of the tough times here, and kind of what that experience brings to a group like this.
Yeah, Ryan's, you think about Leon and Connor being the central point of our team just because of the two stars. But Ryan has a lot to do with the team also, not only with this play on the ice, big part of our penalty kill, big part of our power play, usually playing on our top line or on our second line, but also a player that's been with the organization for a very long time. In fact, 13 years tomorrow. But I think a lot of players have a lot of respect for him, just because he's seen it all. He's seen a lot of down years, not making playoffs, playoff disappointments. And now for him being able to have the opportunity to win that last game of the season, I think everyone's very happy for him.
Left side, second row, Dan.
I'm impressed when Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the date that he was drafted. Do you look at these moments, this is the big picture of it all, and you're in the small picture, I understand. Do you look at these moments, are these legacy-defining moments? Is this a career-defining moment, if you will, for teams, for players?
I think we're just not looking into that. I think we're just looking at one day at a time. And after that day, I think that's up to you guys to decide what everyone's legacy is and what was at stake. I think that's too far of the picture. There's so many other intangibles. I think we're just, I don't know, I think we've had a lot of success this year. We go back to, I don't know what day it was, November 23rd or whatever day it was. We were in Washington. We did some goal setting, and then we shortened our season on just, let's not look down the road. Let's just look at what's ahead of us right now. And, we broke our game into 8-game segments, but ultimately what we wanted to do was just take one day at a time. And, we've got 2 days left of our season. Tomorrow will be the last day. We're just trying to enjoy it and make the most out of it.
Left side, fifth row, Elliott.
Chris, I'm just the mechanics of the challenge the other night. Is it Noah's call or is it your call? Like, who makes the decision that we're going to challenge in that moment?
It is my call. I decide on the, obviously calling the ref over and telling him we were going to challenge it. I would say 95 to 98% of the information that I get is from Noah. And, there's some things that Noah knows exactly what's called, and he looks at the video, he gets all the information, he decides what the likelihood of a call being overturned is. Whether it's goaltender interference, offside. Offside's usually a lot clearer than goaltender interference because goaltender interference is subjective. And then he'll radio to me, or actually to Mark Stuart, who's on the headset. Mark will tell me what he sees. Obviously, all the coaches are looking at the video feed by our feet. And then, I have to decide at what point in the game is this a good time to challenge? And, the score will dictate that. The likelihood of getting the call right is obviously the most important thing. But, it's, often what's overlooked is, do challenge, is it right or wrong? But if you look at, let's just say if you have a 75% penalty kill, if you had 4 challenges and you only got one right and got three wrong, it's a wash. So, there's obviously a lot of attention on were you right or were you wrong, but, over the course, if you can overturn a goal, that's huge, even if you are wrong occasionally. Now, making that decision, it's a lot easier when your penalty kill is going well. Gives you a lot more confidence to make that call. But, we had the confidence that that was offside, and we would just go on from there.
Left side in the back, Tony.
Afternoon, Chris. You talk about that November 23rd practice. That was exactly 7 months ago to this date, but I want to ask you about the night before, that 6-3 loss to the Carolina Hurricanes. When you were coming off the bench to this moment tonight, Sunday night before Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, what's been the most gratifying thing of coaching this group?
How they've responded, how resilient they are. There's been, a lot of tough times, and probably highlighted with this series being down 3-0 and a lot of people saying they don't have a chance. And I don't think there was ever a moment in that dressing room that they didn't think they had a chance. That was probably the most noticeable time to see how resilient they are. But throughout the season, there's been many times where they've shown that. It was just highlighted after Game 3.
Right side, fourth row, Ryan.
Chris, just checking in on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, if he's at any risk of not being available tomorrow night, and if Evander Kane is healthy enough to draw in if there's a need.
Yeah, Evander is available. We feel there won't be any issue. Today was just a maintenance day. He'll be playing tomorrow. It'd take a lot to take Ryan out of the lineup tomorrow.
We'll take one more. Left side, second row, Mark.
He just stole my question, so I'll ask you, are you going to miss us after a couple days from now?
Of course, I'm going to try and get as many of your phone numbers and we can connect this summer.